Put your heart and soul into emotional action. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, day 1473 of What Shifted Now, documenting my journey as I transitioned originally from the brick and mortar corporate world of business to the online world of business. And then when COVID hit, boom, decided I was going to continue to practice business and do businesses in the offline world as well as the online world. And I share the good, the bad, the ugly, what's working, what's not working, share what I'm talking about, what I'm doing online in my different groups and different activities, as well as offline. Whatever you have questions about, just hit me up and I will talk about that in this segment. Now, today, our idiom for supersize your business was to put our heart and soul into something. And I realized that since COVID hit, I have actually been pulling in, and putting my heart and soul into smaller and smaller things. And I feel like during this time period in our life and in our world, and always, I should be expanding out. So I learned something about myself today as I did the idiom and as I talked about it, that I have, and it's not just a pandemic. Prior to the pandemic, certain things had happened in my life. A lot of it is my vision. So instead of expanding out and impacting more with respect to that, I've been using that as an excuse to not do certain things or participate in certain things. And it's not a very good excuse, right? At least I don't think it is. There's always a way, and I know this on a conscious level, but on a subconscious level, I realized that I was reeling things in, like fishing. I'm reeling things in, but not the right things. If that makes sense. So I always love it when I have a day in the morning where I'm like, oh, that's something I need to look at that I hadn't noticed before. Usually that happens almost every day. So put your heart and soul into things. We talked about for Supersize Your Business, how do you go ahead and put your heart and soul into the business that you're creating? Whether it's an online or an offline business, we have to put our passion, our desire, what we want to create in the world into that business originally, until the culture of that business, the decision-making of that business, the employees, the customers, and everyone else, the brand identity of that business congeals, and we don't need to be feeding that all the time, if that makes sense. So I asked, what is the heart and soul that you're creating in the business that you're supersizing right now? Because I want to know, what do you consider the heart and soul of your business? That's why I asked that question. That's why I ask questions from other business owners on that particular share every day. Our SOAP framework for our annual challenge this year, we're going through the SOAP framework with respect to emotions this segment, and we talked about action. The A in SOAP framework stands for action: story or situation, options, possibilities, what else is possible, action. How do we decide among alternatives? So I shared the plus or minus tool, as well as I used it and analyzed them, the 3 out of the 10 things I brainstormed, and I did actually 20. What of those 3, how do I compare those? What am I going to start with? What am I going to do next? And I actually shared the actions I'm going to take and asked other people to say, okay, apply the plus or minus tool to the different alternatives you want to choose between, pick one, and then share what action you're going to take today, not tomorrow, not next week, not, beginning of March, whatever. No, today, what am I going to do right now with respect to the emotion that I've selected to make a change in that, to impact that now? And I think that's a good one. And then tomorrow I'm going to share a way to lock in feeling automatically more emotions that you want to feel, and lock in making it really, really difficult, if not impossible, to feel the emotions you don't want to feel, unless it's something that you need to feel. Like if I break my leg, I need to feel pain. I can eliminate almost all other pain in my life, but if I break my leg, I need to feel pain so I don't walk on that leg, so I do something about the situation. Fear. I need to eliminate fear of stretching my comfort zone and things that aren't going to kill me, but I still need to be afraid if somebody comes at me with a knife, right? So all of the emotions, the whole spectrum of emotions, are important that we have access to them. We just don't want to feel them in the inappropriate places. And so we'll talk about that tomorrow. I'll share a tool that's guaranteed to make that clearer for each and every one of us. And, one of the things is we don't realize, at least no one ever taught me or trained me, that I got to decide and define the different emotions I was going to feel. I learned them, like everybody else does, through experience. And unfortunately, we don't all have perfect experiences throughout our entire life that teach us when fear is appropriate, when pain is appropriate, when love is appropriate, when jealousy or passion or the whole spectrum of gratitude, whatever, whenever different, what each of these different emotions can and should feel like for us in order to create the life that we want. So we're gonna do that on purpose throughout this annual challenge, to be ourselves, to do one thing every day that improves us, because we can. It's really interesting. I wish life came with a training manual on that when we were small, or a parenting manual. Jesus, didn't everybody want a parenting manual when they were having kids? We didn't, human beings don't come with a operation manual or how to do things, right? They don't come with instructions. And even if they did, it wouldn't work, because all of us are different. Every little human being is different. Both of my granddaughters, very different. Similar, high energy, amazing little beautiful humans, but they're very different. One is very shy, and she's, coming out of her shell with that. And the other one is very outgoing and very, very engaged with other people. But all of us are different. And so an operator's manual wouldn't even work. But it would be nice if we came and we learned universal laws, universal principles, that we have the ability to create our own life, define things, etc. Boy, would that have been nice to know, when I was a teenager, not when I was in my 40s and 50s. But I'm glad I found it when I did. All right. I have got a hugely busy day today, tons to do. If I can help you anyway, ask. Remember, I just want to be that resource. If you're stuck on something, either technical, online, or offline business world, you've got a question, you've Googled it, I think we should all be self-starters. We should all try to find our own answers. And whenever we're struggling with anything, the first thing we'll do is we'll tell ourselves, I don't know what to do, right? Have you ever told yourself, I don't know what to do? I think probably every day, well, I don't know what to do. And if we do that, or if we say, I don't know what I want, then number one, we're lying to ourselves, because we always know what to do and we always know what we want. We just don't necessarily give ourselves permission to want it or have it or know what to do, but we always know. That's why when I say ask, please ask, I mean it, because sometimes we just are our own biggest roadblock and our own biggest obstacle, and we just need somebody to bounce off. Hey, this is where I am. This is what I'm thinking. This is why I feel stuck. And then if you just have a conversation with somebody like me for like a minute, sometimes only one question, and boom, the block clears and you can move forward and take action and get what you want and get unstuck and know that you knew all along what to do. So if you have a question, that's why I say, as long as I have time in my schedule and as long as I can make time, I will offer that up to people, because I know how hard it was when I was getting started in my different businesses and not having anybody to call or a resource. It was frustrating, and it doesn't have to be. And so I would spend like 2 weeks trying to figure something out that if I had just asked someone, and I'm talking days before the internet. Nowadays, you can just type into Google or ask Google on your phone, Google, hey, and at least get a path of ideas on how to solve any problem you can possibly imagine. All right. Have an awesome day. I will, of course, be with you tomorrow.